All right, guys, Saturday morning. Good morning. This is Heather. I finished my big girl cup of coffee. Hopefully my brain starts working at some point because it has been tough. I recorded this video a whole bunch of times. It's only video number 2. But one of the things I wanted to do was a comment at Watchtower Studies. And it's my kind of quiet, sneaky way for any of us that are physically in and mentally out, or anybody who wants to quietly sneak in a Watchtower crash or something. It's a way for us to hopefully trigger something in somebody's brain to think or be of benefit to a victim, which is more what this particular week is geared towards. I'm kind of, it's kind of more my style. I want to, if it's a great big group, I kind of want to sneak something in there that's kind of generic. It's very innocent. It seems as if we're all paying attention, but it's sneaking in a truth that we need to hear, or you can call it a backhanded comment. That's more my style too, just because my mom was really sarcastic growing up, so I don't mean to all the time, it just comes out. But anywho, this article, the first one we're doing for CAWS, is from the March 2019 study edition of the Watchtower. And the article is called Listen to Jehovah's Voice. Before we talk about this comment, I want to, give you some background info. We're going to go over paragraph 14 and 15, just kind of in summary. I'm going to call fair use on this, though, just in case I don't paraphrase. Still new to this public speaking thing, don't mind me. In case I don't paraphrase sufficiently enough. But I'm not going to paraphrase scripture. I'm going to read that one to you because it's important. 14 starts with John 12:27 and 28. And it says, "Now I am troubled, and what should I say? Father, save me out of this hour. Nevertheless, this is why I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came out of heaven, "I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again." All right, so in this article, they're discussing, the time period before Jesus' execution. And he was going through a lot of stress and anxiety because he didn't want his death to bring reproach on God's name. That's his only begotten son. It was particularly brutal. He was a heavenly spirit creature that got sent down to lowly little old earth just to die. It does kind of suck. I don't know, I wouldn't want to come back down here. Well, maybe I would. There's a lot of things I like about it down here. Anyhow, and Jehovah responded to him and reassured him, "I will glorify my name, and I will glorify it again." Now, paragraph 16 changes gears and switches it to, us minions. Well, them minions, because it only applies to Jehovah's Witnesses as far as they're concerned. It says, in paraphrase, that similar to Jesus, we could be concerned about reproach brought on Jehovah's name. And, the injustices done to us or somebody that we know. And the false stories from opposers. I'm going to talk about that for just a second. I will grant them opposers. But it's more in the sense, like, a lot of us, I'm going to say the majority, the overwhelming majority of ExJWs, we don't really care who you think your mediator is or who the organization says your mediator is. We don't care about your 144,000 in heaven or paradise. For all I care, you could believe in a religion, like I said, and I think in another video, where you're obligated to dance outside in the rain in a hula hoop. What we care about is the abuse. You got to stop the abuse. And there's a few forms of it in the Watchtower organization. The false stories part I have a problem with, because they refuse to acknowledge any of the validity and the fault on their part. They refuse to offer an apology. Court cases, documents, investigations. There is so much out there that, a lot of us probably already know about. The Australian Royal Commission, Montana, Canada, I think the UK has started an investigation. The $4,000 a day fine because they refused to look for or provide their very detailed records of abuse and abuse victims. So that false stories part ticks me off. Now on to my proposed comment. Now that I've gone on my rant, and we need a little bit of backstory on this too. In case you didn't know, like I said, some of you might want to do a nice quiet little Watchtower crash, and some of you might not be paying attention even though you go to the meetings, because it sucks and we're stuck. We get stuck. There's no clean way out. Anywho, so this article and surrounding articles have been about Jesus and his message and Jehovah's law and all that. So my proposed comment, so it can sound like you're paying attention to the whole gamut. You're active. Ooh, not really. Proposed comment. So this article and surrounding articles have been about Jesus' message of Jehovah, and also discussing his laws based on love and justice. So based on, what was it in paragraph 14, based on John 12:28, we can have faith. Not that we're not going to upset some elders. We can have faith that so long as we're acting in a motive of love and justice, that there's no way we can bring reproach on God's name as mere humans. To speak in love and justice and truth. Another side note, truth does not require two witnesses to be true. Apparently it requires two witnesses to substantiate the truth to, a bunch of old guys that wash windows. Not that that's a bad job. Apparently it pays well in some areas. Somebody in the audience might need to hear that. Somebody in the audience might have been told by an elder misled by Watchtower and their legal committee that they need to leave it in Jehovah's hands. Or that, historic abuse, they were told that they would bring reproach on God's name. And that's aggravating. But I think I want to let Watchtower shoot them in the foot if I can get enough people to watch my very second video. I don't think it's going to happen, but do it, please. I want it pointed out that based on this article, Killing God's only begotten Son could not bring reproach. And so long as we're acting in love and justice and speaking truth, we're not going to accomplish reproach either. Not even by accident. Somebody in the audience needs to hear it. I don't know if I said this already, but it might not be in every single congregation, but in all 3 congregations nearby to me, because they do have a pretty high density in this area, every one of them has either unreported abuse or successful lawsuits over unreported abuse. All 3 of them. So I'm going to say the odds are pretty high that you're helping somebody by giving them that comment, that we can have faith that we're not bringing reproach. And it's innocent enough. You can pull it right out of the scriptures that they shared, out of, looking at the recent study articles as a whole, that whole law of love and justice, out of, paragraph 16. Go ahead and pull it up and read it. Might try and grab a link to that article. I don't know what the rules are on that, but we'll do it anyway and see what happens. But anywho, it's full of love and good intent. If you see this, give it a shot, please.